Hi everyone, I'm Anna, your Cinephile host. Today, let's take a look at the political drama Game Change, which is based on true events. The movie details the circumstances surrounding Sarah Palin's selection as John McCain's running mate during the 2008 presidential election in the US. Game Change covers the period from the McCain staff's realization that the Republicans needed a game changer to level the playing field against the smoothly running, well-financed campaign of Senator Barack Obama to the 2008 election night. Campaign strategist Steve Schmidt champions Palin at the beginning, but comes to realize that she is as much of a liability as an asset to McCain. So let's watch the movie Game Change and live through the 2008 presidential campaign once again. It's 2008. Senator John McCain joins the 2008 presidential race and struggles to compete with other Republican candidates during the primary season. In a desperate phone call McCain places to Republican strategist Steve Schmidt, he learns about Steve's decision to sit out the 2008 race, but McCain convinces him to reconsider. Months later, Schmidt is serving as McCain's senior campaign strategist, and with his help, McCain has secured the Republican nomination. McCain's preferred running mate, Senator Joe Lieberman, is rejected by the majority of his senior advisors, including Schmidt, because he will not help compete with the celebrity of their opponent, Democratic Senator Barack Obama. The strategists quickly look for a game change candidate who, among other things, will help close the gender gap, the Republican Party 20-point deficit with women. Investigating prominent female Republican politicians, the campaign finds Palin, the governor of Alaska, to have the charismatic qualities they want. After a very brief vetting process, she is selected. Palin's eventual public reveal creates the buzz that Schmidt and McCain were looking for, bringing them to even or better with Obama in the polls.
Well, guys, listen, I too wish that the American people would choose the future Abraham Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson, but unfortunately, that's not the way it works anymore. Now it takes movie star charisma to get elected president. And Obama and Palin, that's what they are. They're stars.
While Palin's acceptance speech at the Republican National Convention is well received, the campaign becomes concerned that she is ignorant about many political issues and grossly unprepared. On paper, the governor of Alaska was ideal. In person, she has delightful charisma. She can, and often does, win the hearts and minds of voters with her plain-spoken rhetoric. But when she has to demonstrate her knowledge of even the basics of policy, much less the intricacies, she's often at a loss. She didn't know what the Fed was. She thought Korea was one country. She believed Queen Elizabeth was the British head of state.
John is getting slammed for making an irresponsible choice.
We picked her.
No, you two picked her, then slapped her on the butt and shoved her out there under a banner saying, "Country first."
The campaign pushes her to become something she is not. She pushes back, sometimes shutting down, sometimes throwing tantrums. Soon Schmidt and his team are wondering what sort of a person they're trying to seat a heartbeat away from the presidency, while Palin doesn't understand why they won't just let her do what she does, which is talk to real people.
And I am raising millions of dollars for this campaign. Hundreds of thousands of people are coming to see me speak. Not John McCain, God bless him. They are coming to see me. So if I am single-handedly carrying this campaign, I'm going to do what I want.
Realizing her shortcomings, McCain's staffers try to give her a crash course in virtually every aspect of current political affairs, but much of it doesn't seem to take, as evidenced by what becomes Palin's own game changer, her interview with CBS anchor Katie Couric, in which she can't name a specific newspaper she reads daily. While prepping for the interviews, Palin is preoccupied with her approval ratings in Alaska and the absence of her family while campaigning, eventually becoming unresponsive to advisors who even begin to question her mental state.
Hey, how you doing? That depends. How's she look? For a woman who's just had a baby, has a pregnant teen daughter and a son in Iraq, I'd say not half bad. You, however, look like shit.
The staff also comes to accept that Palin is better at memorizing and delivering lines than she is at actually understanding issues. They prepare her for the vice presidential debate by simply having Palin memorize about 40 minutes worth of talking points, which manages to get her through the debate without major incident. However, Palin's growing popularity with the Republican base, even as she alienates mainstream voters, soon overshadows the campaign. Palin becomes uncooperative, rejecting and conflicting with Schmidt and the rest of the campaign staff as she gains her own following. She even publicly disagrees with McCain's decision to end campaigning in Michigan. With Election Day approaching, senior campaigners express regret that Palin turned out to be style without substance and that they neglected to assess her competency. McCain consoles Schmidt by reaffirming that taking a risk with Palin was better than fading away.
When my grandfather found out that the Japanese had surrendered, he was lost. Didn't know what to do with himself. He came home, dropped dead the very next day. Fought his war, and he died. And my dad, when he retired from the Navy, he fell into a sense of despair for the rest of his life. I'm never gonna quit, Steve. I can't. I don't want to just fade away.
When Obama wins on election night, Schmidt tries to stop Palin from giving a concession speech along with McCain's. She appeals to McCain, who agrees with Schmidt, and McCain's campaign manager comments that Palin will soon be forgotten.
Still think she's fit for office?
Well, who cares? 48 hours, no one will even remember who she is.
During McCain's concession speech, he thanks Palin, who receives enormous and sustained applause, chants, and enthusiasm from the crowd, which is noted in the faces of McCain's advisors.
Should we cancel?
We can't. Even Fox is pounding us for hiding or we'd get murdered.
When you interviewed her, didn't you ask her about national security, foreign policy, domestic policy?
I thought Culver House would cover that.
So what did you ask her?
I think the main lesson that we can learn from this movie is summarized in this quote. Now it takes movie star charisma to get elected president, and Obama and Palin, that's what they are, they're stars. Simply being a skilled politician is not enough. For many Americans, and not all of them McCain supporters or even Republicans, Sarah Palin provided, if only briefly, an unexpected vision of hope, a chance to see what would happen if a no-nonsense, non-Ivy League mother of 5 suddenly became a player in national politics. And Julianne Moore's portrayal of Palin is both complex and entirely credible. Yes, the hair, makeup, and costumes contribute a lot to transforming Moore, but the level of detail she brings to the performance is simply astounding. I'm your host Anna, and I hope you enjoyed this Cinephile episode. You can find more on Funday website. Stay tuned!